Okay. Okay.
Hello, and welcome back to part 2 with John Fanuzzi. Welcome back, John.
Well, thanks for having me back. It was a wonderful first session. I'm going to put my professor glasses on. I can see it better.
All right. I want to kind of pick up where we left off with the talk of the herbs and the holistic approach to the healing modalities that you do. Herbs are one of my passions. I feel like everything on this planet was given to us to use for something. We just have to be smart enough to know what it's for. So I would like to get a little bit of your take on the herbs, because you mentioned earlier that you practiced Ayurvedic medicines. So what are your
I took the training, the summer workshops with Dr. Ladd, but I found the teachings that I found right after that. I never really got into the Ayurvedic practices. I'm aware of them. Sometimes I reference them, but I forgot a lot of it. But it's parallel with the polarity therapy. And I pretty much worked polarity with the elements more than anything else. And even though we had a lot more details work with Dr. Stone's work, I just used that basic chart that I showed you, and everything is there. I don't have to do too much else. I know the mapping of the feet, and I've done more with the energy. I wish I knew more. Herbs, I'm aware of them, but I'm not an herbologist. I'm aware they do magic, but it hasn't been my whatever. It hasn't been my main thing.
Expertise.
When I need help with herbs, I usually ask him. I've got a friend that's really good with them, so he tells me, or I look it up.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I also noticed when I was looking at your website, you have some really great poems. So if you could do a share screen and maybe just show a little bit of your poems examples to people, and then I want to talk about mudras.
Okay, let's see. How do I do a desktop one? Okay, see if this works. Share. Okay, let's open up, make sure I'm on here. Open up internal Stargate. It should work. There we go. Are we on here?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, let's go to the poems, which I considered. I wrote this water trine poem, most of it, years ago, and I filled in along the way. And when I've been to India several times, and I had a lot of extra time on my hand, so I embellished a lot. But this water trine poem is what I consider, and if you go to the water element, it's the mastery of the threefold flame, which is a requirement for the ascension. It's a requirement. It's alchemy. There's so much in it. And I told this story based on my own, I wrote this based on my own experiences and understanding this. And most people didn't put it together. I started this, so maybe I'll go through and read it if you want, and maybe people can get it. So you my sense is that you have to have a good psychology, and your emotional body is going to tell all about your psychology. You know, if you got emotional intelligence, or if you don't. So the water trine is in the intangibles: faith, hope, and charity. Or Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, the water trine of the element. Now, this is a chart that it's a whole zodiac, but if you take the elements and open them up, the water trine is I've got everything coded in colors. It's a ruby color, really. Our teaching called it pink, but there's too much red, but red like a ruby. It's got a little bit of blue in it, the red. It's not a harsh, dark red. It's a red as if you've ever done, like a rainbow almost. I mean, it's a different red. Okay. So understanding, I'll read the poem, and then I'll stop in between and you can digest it, ask me questions. But the intangible reality of faith and hope walks the fine line balanced before waters emote, whereas concrete, solid substance of formality is the physical, tangible form of unreality. So I consider the water element to be, it's intangible, but it leads what happens in the physical. I'm the balanced female energy, perfect vision, faith, and harmony. Creative, of course, Scorpio. Confident, Pisces. Grateful, I dance. Oh, mother raised up, I take my chance. Now, in the water element, you've got this triunity of Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. It's based on the cosmic clock, which is it's on one of my other pages, a whole teaching on the cosmic clock, which starts in Capricorn at the 12 o'clock line. It goes clockwise through the zodiac. It's the manifestation or recreation of your karma. You redo it and have a chance. Every out breath, you're recreating your karma and repatterning your karma to become a perfected being. Right. So in the sign of Scorpio, you got, you know, I'm going to tell the story early on about the pond. Now, picture a pond is a water element, and water is abundance. Water is creativity. The mother energy is creativity. It flows. So the pond has to be fresh all the time, otherwise you're going to get stagnation. Scorpio is your hope or your vision. It's conception, creativity, ideals. It's your potential energy and electricity. It's your pressure and like a reservoir in plumbing. And if you don't have creativity, you have a desert. And what happens in a desert? Scorpions, okay? So that's the Scorpio. Of course, when you're an awakened Scorpio, it becomes the eagle. So you have an eagle vision, and you can have a much broader sense and operate like an adept. So faith is Pisces. Now, if you don't have faith, Pisces rules the feet. If you don't have feet, the water turns to ice and the pond turns to ice. If your feet are stuck in ice, you can't move forward if you have any kind of fear. So you have to have absolute faith, courage, confidence, trust. You have to totally have faith. In the sign of Cancer, it has everything to do with harmony. And harmony is love, it's flow, it's charity, faith, hope, and charity, but it's all about flow, grace, and so on. So you can't be attached to anything. In Cancer, when you have attachment, you see the crab. Cancer is associated with the crab in astrology. The crab holds on to things. And when you hold on to things, you're not letting go of the stagnant water. And you get mosquitoes and stagnation. Your pond becomes unclean. So you always have to have new vision, new creativity. That's who we are, creators. And you have to always be ready, not attached to it. You have to let go. Okay, so I'm going to move into start to the next level of the poem. Is there any questions on that? Okay. So the next one, be in charge. In charge is where I belong. Full potential, no resistance, conduit strong. That's Ohm's law on electricity. Why I am electricity shining bright. I am the integration of the mother light. Again, potential, resistance, and current. That's Ohm's law. Okay. Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer's mastery. I am the foundation for all alchemy. 'Tis the balanced water trine of polarity. Forevermore I live to set life free. Each time I complete and surrender all, opportunity knocks and gives me the call. Another assignment the angels have sung. I start all over on a higher rung. So life is always about initiation and climbing the ladder and evolving.
Right.
I am a high mountain reservoir. Go ahead.
May I just ask real
You have a
quick?
question?
So do you agree that we're born into each zodiac sign because we bring forth lessons and lessons we've already learned and lessons that we still need to learn? Do you think
Probably.
that's the significance of the zodiac?
I don't know. I think so. I think we're born into the sign that fits our life path for this life.
Yeah.
I think it's real important. We choose our parents. We choose our path. The higher evolved you are, the more opportunity you have to where you want to re-embody. You don't have to embody in your
Right.
bloodline. If you're evolved, you can embody
Right.
for a mission. If you're not evolved, you're usually getting involved to a person of higher attainment in your bloodline. Okay,
Right.
so let's go to the next one. I am a high mountain reservoir with wide open gates. I flow through the land, the valleys and lakes. I give life to all despite what they think. I flow to sustain creation's drink.
I love that.
Expand, 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 Father chalice of earth, for I am the mother who comes to rebirth. No limits, no boundaries in this earthly school. I have come to break the orthodox rule. See, the father is the law. The letter of the law has to be broken. The mother is flow. The mother breaks the orthodox rule. You know, the father
Right.
has to, you have to have rules and structure, but then someone comes with a creative idea, or maybe the mother's a little more easier on the children if they do something wrong. The father has to act like he's mad or whatever, or
Right.
act like the lawgiver. So, oh, Scorpio, mysterious sacrament rules the Scorpio does rule the sacrum. Oh, mysterious sacrament, creation's desire. Kundalini raised meets heart passions fire. Pisces, feet, faith, grounded on rock. Cancer's bosom, nurturing at 6 o'clock. Now, this is the cosmic clock. And I probably should put another diagram of the cosmic clock. And after I read this, I'll go back and show you the cosmic clock a little bit, unless you
Okay.
want to do it now.
No,
Let's.
it's okay.
I can
We can
quick.
do it in a
But
minute.
let me go through this.
Yeah.
I'll take a little break. I'll show the cosmic clock.
Okay.
And if we go to, let's go back to home. All right. Cosmic clock here. Okay, the cosmic clock is an initiatory clock.
Wait a minute. We're
Different
not.
than your astrology. It's actually very. You're not. Are you
Hold on.
showing new share?
Yeah.
Okay.
The screen needed to catch up with you. It's there now. There you go.
It's there. Okay. All right. I'm not getting it though. So what's? Oh, okay. Let me get out of this thing here. Okay, share. Okay, there we go. The cosmic clock starts at birth of a cycle or birth of your life, and every year there's a different line that you have to learn on, and it starts with your birth. The power is your like hitting the hammer on the 12 o'clock line is your power cycle, Capricorn. The 1 o'clock line is Aquarius, has to do with love. 2 o'clock line has to do with mastery and faith. 3 o'clock line, control and humility. 4 o'clock line is obedience and loyalty. 5 o'clock line is wisdom, knowledge, which is Gemini. 6 o'clock line, Cancer, harmony and peace. 7 o'clock line is gratitude and joy. 8 o'clock line, which is Virgo, justice and order, reality and truth on the 9 o'clock line. Now you're coming into the physical quadrant. This is, by the way, the memory quadrant is the first, the air mental quadrant, the emotional quadrant, and the physical quadrant. So we're on the 9 o'clock line where things become real. This has to do with truth, vision and hope on the 10 o'clock line, and completion, victory on the 11. Now there's perversions on every line of the clock, and you can look at the chart. I don't want to take up too much time, but there's a perversion and test on every line. Every time you're on that line, you're having a test. Now within the cosmic clock, there's years. And then if you're, let's say you're 12 years old and 1 month goes by, your main thing would be on the 12 o'clock line, your test, the same test you'd have when you were born with, but you're also going to be tested on the 1. It goes by the month and the year. Very, very accurate. I am now on the 11 o'clock line. I am 71 years old, which is kind of getting there. So my test is about victory. And the challenges I have are failure, defeat, incomplete projects, resentment, revenge, and retaliation, for instance. So this year I am being tested on these items, and my victory is huge because then I go to a new 12 o'clock line to start the cycle. So this is an initiatory astrology, extremely accurate. And we got this from a dictation from Mother Mary through Elizabeth Clare Prophet in 1975. So this teaching is, it goes very well. The regular astrology is pretty simple. I mean, it's out there. You can look it up and study that. But the cosmic clock goes very well with I would call it my initiatory astrology on the when I get into the elements here. Let's go back to the poems here. Where were we? Okay. Okay, so we're here. So this is the cosmic clock. This is your regular astrology. One goes counterclockwise, the other one goes clockwise. And okay, so the wheel of fortune shamans have named the balance of the water as they have claimed. The key to precipitate in the matter realm, 'tis focus, desire, I take the helm. You have to know where you're going. You have to have faith. You have to be the commander, and you take command of your horses, your four lower bodies, your horses, and you have to balance those elements. Overcoming all fears, as I repeat this plan, experience, best teacher, again and again. As I walk as a master on the line of the two, inner peace I now claim, endeavor to move. The 2 o'clock line is about mastery, faith, Pisces. Okay. Psychology, insanity, mental disease, depression is just the imbalance of these. Just set the course, all projects complete, for the quest to the victory will end all defeat. So that's what I said earlier. The quest to the Grail is absolutely fantastic. The challenge along the way and looking and searching for the victory along the way, or creation, whatever you're making. Crazy picture of me. This one here, I like this one. Everyone seems to like this one. I put this at the bottom. Only victory. You mentioned always victory. I said only victory has been my mantra. Focus on your past. Do not give your power to anyone. Okay. This picture, I was in India and I was trying on hats in the store. I took this crazy picture with a turban on my head. I stick to my goal and fulfill my dreams, while others just wonder in amazement, it seems. So I must teach what comes easy to me. Yes, even greater joy in sharing the seed. Right. Have you ever seen anyone who lovingly shares without having joy? So joy is a great, great gift to give.
It is.
Start little children from the time you are 3 to repeat my words or in your memory. For the purpose in life is a creation of sort. Act just like God would, for that's who thou art. Jesus said, you are gods. And again, I repeat, you are gods in numerology is 3, 6, 9.
I love it.
Okay, I love incredible.
It. I love
it. The light of God always prevails is my motto indeed. Faith builds the bridge to your relationship with speed. Walk the earth as a master on the line of the two. Just follow the path. No question, doubt, or thoughts untrue.
Yeah.
And Jesus is the hierarch of the Pisces and the line of mastery and faith. Okay.
Right.
As the air gets thin on the mountain climb, the spiritual path so parallel many will find. Keep focused, keep moving, and stay in the now. Breathe consciously, eat light, fulfill holy vow. Not dried out vision, but creativity's talk. That's Scorpio. Not frozen in fear, but water's walk in Pisces. Walk on the water. Stagnation, attachment, I only move on. That's Cancer. You can't be stuck. I dance with all life. Codependency gone. So that's how you get out of your karma, the ho'oponopono, and get out of the ping pong game. Right. You know, just okay. You know, you don't want to play ping pong with someone that wants to be right all the time. Energy or voltage is to electrical potential, as the reservoir's height is for pressure is essential. Both hold the magnitude of the vision or dream. When the water meets the fire, it produces the steam. The wiring integrity is the ability to carry a load, just as pipes for water must follow the code. The body's ability to sustain the peace is like surrender and grace, all struggling cease. Ohm's law to electric has science to show through voltage, resistance, and current flow. Ohm is the spirit. Peace is the key. Vision or hope plus faith and charity. Invention, mother's necessity. Right vision, blind faith, perfect harmony. I am the full potential of my passionate fires. I am super conscious by my right desires. Completing the circuit of electricity, I just call it God's plan for me. It's so easy, so easy, so easy to see. It's simply hope, faith, and charity. Yes, hope is pure vision, and faith says it all. Charity is love, and love conquers all. Holding the vision, I see only the goal. No dimmer switch ever to dim my soul. full potential, no resistance, currents flow, I live. Well, that's electronics holy grail, superconductive. The mother's intangible nature and steady pace through intuition, needs, discernment, and grace prepare the way for the waters pouring into father's tangible and foundational flooring. So I can see the invisible, so I can do the impossible. Since faith is a substance of things not yet observable. Oh, I have to change that. Look at that, I have two odds. Even science can prove that thoughts can conceive. So why not start now so you can receive? I woke up one morning, 'tis just what I heard. Be a sun center as flying thought forms are spurred. Return to sender, address unknown. What goes around comes around, as Elvis was shown. Now, this is an incredible story. I got to tell a little story. I
Okay.
woke up one morning. I was having, I had a little workshop or seminar going at my other place, and some guy came and says, he said, "Boy, I had interference coming here and had a hard time." And I was thinking, I woke up this morning very vividly with the sound playing into my ear. I walk out to my shop to get my mail with my wife, and in my mailbox was this picture magazine rock with Elvis Presley wearing a gold suit, which represents the Buddha. Okay. And what does that stand? When you're in the Buddha presence, you stand there, the planets, you just let them go around. They return to sender. And that was the song, Return to Sender.
Oh, wow.
If you don't get it, there's nothing for it to attach to, the interference. So interference, what someone called it one day, it's a true story. Are you interfere is what I would say. Opposition is the word used in duality, for judgment invites such calamity. Okay, so that's what I said. The person came with a lot of, I had a lot of interference getting away. So that gave me this, these two things happened. These two verses came right when that person gave me that intuition and I got this message here. For peace is the antidote for what could go wrong. Wherever there's a challenge, just create a new song. But the eye of the storm where all goes around, the eyes where I'd go, there's sun on the ground. And I drew a diagram. This is a photograph of Hurricane Ivan from a satellite. Shows a pentagram, which really is the vortex. It's crazy how it self-organized into a vortex. If tonight be single, you know the rest. It's just the same as the Immaculate Request. But matrices create and sustain what you see. So why not unravel all imperfections, purity? Get out of the box, in other words. Momentum's a victory over the years, overcoming all obstacles, doubts, and fears. I am a star to be, as upward spirals set me free. Accusations and judgments will come your way when you're fulfilling your divine plan today. So shine like the sun as comets go round, and the energy will circle not to be found. Opposition, so welcome in some circles I've seen. Fear in the aura attracts like a magnet between. Opportunity is the adept's antidote of this through right action, non-reaction, and recreation's bliss. Ride the dragon with a smile on your and dance on its back, while others would fight and from their perspective attack. For here is a little secret, another mystery one, neither left nor right, just the middle way, son. So it's about, I learned this one. I see many statues of Kuan Yin on the dragon and Mother Mary with the dragon at her feet, Archangel Michael with the dragon at the feet. And one statue in particular I saw, it was Kuan Yin on the dragon, and she was playing the piano, and there's someone playing the violin. They're all at peace, and the war is going on. You got the head of the dragon and the tail of the dragon, the duality. But they're in the zone. They're not left or right. They're in the middle. And if you get into that place of acceptance, the bad and the good, whatever, okay, you're a nice jerk or whatever. You just be in that zone. Nothing can hurt you. You can't be hurt if you stay in that zone, non-judgment.
Right.
So that's the end of my water shrine poem.
I love it. I just want to circle back real quick to the cosmic clock. Like, let's say you're at 2 o'clock. You can be at 2 o'clock at any age, correct? Because isn't this all
Yes,
about
that's right.
growth and what true ascension is really about? Because I think the word ascension in our little spiritual circle community has kind of been perverted, and people really don't understand what ascension truly means anymore.
Well, what I see is you have to balance the order trine. Number one, of course, if you balance that, you're going to learn the earth because you're going to have a business or a family or something that's grounded. You have rules and laws. So you have to be, you can't be so spaced out or so overbalanced with, in other words, you have to have a little, sometimes you have to have a little grounding if you get too out there. So you have to be a little bit practical, but trust the spirit because you have to, like that one verse I had, the mother energy, the water energy will break the law of the father energy. The
Right.
father energy's letter of the law. It says in the Bible, you're not going to get to heaven by the letter of the law, which a lot of people, they preach the Bible, letter of the law, but they missed one thing, the breaking the law by the mother energy, the spirit, the unorthodox rule, and the discernment and the Holy Spirit, literally, to speak out. Sometimes there's a time for the time you know if you got a real like these bad guys today, they got to be eradicated. There's no hope. There's absolutely no hope. They're going to wreck the whole culture. You got to sometimes
Right.
you have to do something. You have to break the bully's legs. You have to give a lesson, and
Yeah.
sometimes you have to love the bully. You have to. It's a fine line of discernment. Go ahead.
Right. So, which is where we're at now. We find ourselves in the very smack dab middle of the Great Awakening, and everyone's seeing the truths and veils being lifted and things needing to come out in the open so that we can correct the wrongs, right the wrongs that were predominantly done by men instead of women. That's also the point of the age of Aquarius, the golden age that we're coming into now. Really, I mean, technically we entered the age of Aquarius years back, but it's taken this long for us to gain momentum now for it to really flourish
Right.
and grow. And that, so we need that
I put my picture.
balance within it. We need that feminine aspect.
Yes. Well, we've been in a patriarchal society for such a long time, and
Right.
it's been my did this are we still screen sharing okay here?
Yeah, we're still screen sharing. We're on the cosmic clock still.
Okay, good. Okay,
But
good.
actually,
Okay, so
I want to talk about the mudras, but this actually may be a good time to segue into something else that I was wanting to talk about so that the audience understands better about the gematria and the magic in the numbers and the magic in the vibration, and how the bad guys or the black hats or whatever people want to call them of today's world have done things with our numbers and our symbols that are sacred geometry and our words that are vibrations, which is essentially spell casting, that we have to now reverse and undo. So if you would touch on the importance of reversing the numbers. Some people that follow this kind of stuff understand that, but maybe just, explain it for people who don't.
well, okay, the vowels and consonants is what I call geonumerology, and I went to a page, a general page. I've got a whole nother page number by number, but this chart will tell you a lot. The vowels are actually the feminine side, which are the portals, and the vowels are amazingly connecting. The A is number one, and that's the 0 point. That's where the ones meet to connect with each other. The Michelangelo finger of God to finger of man. So that means that the big guy can talk to the little guy, and the dodecahedrons, the stellated dodeca. You've got, if you're the big guy, the little guy, you can talk at that 0 point, that one connecting point. And so I've put the vowels as the feminine side, you might say, the vowels. And 5 is, you need the 5 because 5 is phi, phi, all frequencies multiplied by 0.618, perfectly compress to 0 point without any interference or heat. And you have a perfect fractality and geometric reduction. That means that you can reduce anything by the phi ray, even the violet fire, the violet flame. You're taking your, if I pray, I always put my hand up, always, because you're sending, if you're
Right.
sending energy out, and you can shatter everything with the 5 and
Right.
roll back the hex or the curse or the black magic, whatever you want to call it, witchcraft. It rolls it back, absolutely stops it dead. The I is a number 9. Number 9, all the geometry equals 9. 9's a very, very sacred number. Every face angle is a 9, of all the platonic solids. It's the center of the cube. It's the 9th number. The 369 is your, you have 5 elements coming down the legs of the pentageometry, but the 369 is the time axis, and you've got past and future and presence right there. So it's your, I could get deep into that. The matrix, you might say, or the tetrahedral. The physical world is here. And the O it's a 15th letter, but it's a 1-5 again. It's the cosmic connector. You're connecting friends. And when you go like this in Italian, friends, we friends, 5 ends, because your fingers are 0.618 to 1 to 1.618. So you're getting a reduction, and that, I believe, the bones has everything to do with healing, because you're taking that frequency reduction to 0 point through your bones, and your bones are perfectly fractal, phi ratio.
Right.
So the 15 to me, and the letter O is very, very important. It's not just a 6, it's a 1-5. It's these connection here. And the 21, the U is a 21. So the U is the waveform of, let's say, your astrology, your duality, testing, finally going to 0 point. You're in the same shape as nature showing. If you look at it in 2D, it's always 60 degrees. So your angles here are all 9. All your platonic solids are 9s. Everything equals a 9. Anyway, there's a lot to be said for that.
Love that.
If you go more into the numbers, the hard head in hand, or the breath, you've got the breath here, the breath of life. It equals a 9. Oxygen is a 9. The whole I spirit is 9. The head, the hand, source, sun, love are 9 words. Okay, does that tell you something? That's why 9 is so universal. And so you have the breath, the head here, the cube. You're incubating your thoughts through this cube, and the center point is where the spirit meets the physical here. But R is about repeat. This is your left brain, third eye, you might say. And your hands are the creation. Without we are human beings, and we can create with our mind and with our hands and our heart. Heart, head, and hands, or breath, head, and hands. Even animals breathe, but we have the gift of the mind, and we have the gift of our hands for creation. Without hands and head and mind, we wouldn't have anything here. We'd be walking the earth like giraffes or something.
Right.
So I call this geonumerology, because I'm looking at the shapes. Now, one very important thing is, when I first started doing this, I was very intrigued by Stargate, and because I started with the drawing of CERN, I realized the whole geometry was a Stargate. When I went to the number 1, let's say we go here and look at the numbers again. Numbers, words here. And if we go to number 1 or 10, this was absolutely amazing. Look at the words that equal a 10. Stargate, gateway, portal, wormhole, spirit, entry, link, focus, seal, singularity, is, forgive, 0, accelerate, concentrate, pass, conjunct, apex, vertex, union, future, cone, central, mercy, flame, measure, bright. You know what I'm saying? This is so, the words are mean the numbers. The numbers in the words are congruent. And back in the old Greek days and Roman days, the people knew the vibration of the words. They knew the words and the numbers when they spoke. So that was something I read about somewhere in some ancient teaching. The number 9 words are. Go ahead.
They understood the power in it because of the vibrations, the resonance.
Right. Now, this is a big one. The Holy Spirit. Now, in traditional, Holy Spirit, it's spelled Holy, Holy Spirit with an I. Well, whole is a 9, I is a 9, spirit with a PHI instead of a pi. So you're going into a vortex with the 9s. And now the 9 connects you to everything. Same vibration as love is a 9, sun is a 9, infinite, source, breath, head, hand. This is profound. That the numbers tell you how the vibration of 9. Now, God is love, and to me, that's, if you want to define God, I'd say love is probably the best definition for God.
Yes.
And when I one of the things that I came across was, ye are gods, but God's plural is a 3, 6, 9, and equals a 9 completely. God by itself is an 8 word. Let's look at, I'll show you some of the 8 words. And when you look at the 8 words, Adonai, God, these are man gods, okay? God, Elohim, Krishna, Abraham, okay, whatever, Babylon, clock, crystal, these are crystallization. So I just thought this was interesting. I think there was some control, worship, religion are 8 words. Elder, currency, Federal Reserve, and they don't all fit, but they give me clues, and I've used these words for clues. They're all interesting, even the 5 words, and the ones they're omega, am. So I am and omega are pretty parallel. I want to go to something else right now to just, I want to share this page. Infinite versus infinite, because we start talking about the matrix. And I talked about this a lot more on Carrie's show, and I didn't really get into the geometry in this show, but the tetrahedron, octahedron, and cube are the geometry of all matter. And the dodecahedron and the icosahedron and the pentapyramid, let's say, or the stellated dodeca, are all spiritual words. So you've got the matrix, prism, versus Phiredom, golden age. And you got the infinite with an FI that keeps you going in circles like the infinity sign, and pi versus infinite, phi, and spin, which makes the vortex. You got the horizontal matter plane, which is a 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. And on a vertical level, you got the 3, 6, 9 axis. See it. The circle, toroid, pi versus vortex, cone, and phi, implosion. Constant velocity, past and future, acceleration, present, synchronicity. Attachment, duality, and judgment, and versus forgiveness and acceptance. That's karmic wheel, and then presence and ascension. Okay, holes in spirit versus the whole I spirit. Tetraoctacube, Akasa dodeca. And if you pack 12 spheres around one, 2 things can happen. You can have a cube octahedron, which is basically all tetras, versus Akasa dodeca. A little bit of a twist in the twinkling of an eye. You still have 12 spheres around one, but it's Akasa packing. So compression, heat, friction, fractality, cold fusion, emotion, devotion, left brain serial processor versus right brain parallel processor. By the way, the right brain is RAM, RAM, which is the parallel processor in the computer world, but R and I are both 9. So I am and RAM are, that's the spirit versus the left brain is the serial processor. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 is cell division. Subconscious mind versus superconscious, relative good and evil, duality versus the middle way, resistance versus flow, tetraoctacube, icosapentadodeca, pentodeca, and the old carbon 666, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, carbon equals an 8, which again is the infinity with an FI, which keeps you going on the karmic wheel.
Right.
So we have to change the vibration of our carbon. Oxygen is a 999. Oh boy, does that tell you something right there? Okay.
That's
So,
why it's in the breath,
anyway.
right? That's why it's all in the
So-
breath. Everything that people say
It's
in
all
the
it's
world.
it's important. It's in the breath. And I mentioned the violet fire. I call it the violet fire because I had I was working with Dan Winter, trying to absorb his great teaching. He's very, very into wavelength, but his whole teaching was about the golden ratio and phase conjugation, compression, perfect fractality, non-interfering waves of the five. So if you look at the solar plexus, you got 5 in and 5 out. 5 in counterclockwise, like the astrology, 5 out going clockwise, the cosmic clock, recreation. But you've got something when you breathe in, you hold your breath, you can transmute everything. Your out breath is the recreation. And you're imploding all the negativity can go to 0 point and form that great white light. And you transmute by the
Right.
violet flame, the violet fire. It's not just just the violet flame. Okay, so
Right. And ascension
uh,
really means spiritual growth, the growth of the spirit self. Correct? I mean, a lot
Yeah,
of people get that totally,
well,
it's totally been conflated to something else.
well,
That no one
I believe the only way to excel, I'm going to go to another one here real quick. I think it's might be on this page here about acceleration. When you have velocity, which is the matrix, you're going at a constant velocity, and you're going cell division. It's not accelerating. When you go to this is divided by time in physics is velocity, constant velocity. When you go to when you're going around and around and around in like on a like this particular path over here, you have linear velocity. Okay, when you accelerate now, you have distance divided by time squared. Devotion is the same numerology as I am. DE is a 9, votion's a 5. So you got this whole 9, 5 thing going on here. So you're accelerating time and space. And that comes into the platonic solids. And even though this is in a waveform, if you get on the straight line, they're standing waves forming the shape. So you can accelerate your path by sticking in that vibration. You don't have to go through the cycles as long, and you quickly get there if you go into the geometry. It's my own theory anyway. But through extreme forgiveness, that's going through the eye of the needle. Acceptance, trust, and surrender. Absolute extreme forgiveness. And Ho'oponopono, have you heard of that?
explain it to the
I don't know
audience.
if it's on here. Have you heard the Ho'oponopono teaching?
Yes, but explain it
Do you know
for the
about it?
audience.
Okay. So there was in Hawaii, there was a ancient tradition of the Ho'oponopono philosophy, where everything you see in someone else is a reflection of yourself. So if you're judging someone else or saying something bad, they're only a mirror of what you created. Usually attract what you have. It's the guru, Guru. You know, that's how I see it. You're attracting something. And one time this doctor inherited, no one wanted this job. It was the craziest mental hospital in Hawaii. It was full of absolute people that were totally, I mean, they had no cure. They were insane, crazy people in this hospital. And he heard about this Ho'oponopono thing, and he looked at their pictures every day and said, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I thank you. And sure enough, every single one of the people in that hospital was cured. He wrote a book about it. So that was the whole teachings of Ho'oponopono. I have a couple of songs that are beautiful about this teaching, about, they explain it in a song, but it absolutely works. It works. So you can quickly accelerate if you just do the simple process of I love you. In other words, owning it. You have to own it so you can heal it. You have
Right.
to own it.
Similar to
So no
namaste.
matter what, huh?
Similar
It's
to like,
common. It's really simple.
yeah.
You attract everything you attract that bothers you is basically your karma, your lesson, and everyone is your teacher. If you let it be your teacher, understand this simple thing. So that is the pathway. To me, it's the geometry of the ascension. Is these shapes, but acceleration forms the vortex, whereas going in a circle is just velocity. So it's the emotion which keeps going in the circles, and devotion. And to me, someone asked me about what's the most important thing. I said, if you have devotion, I don't care if you like juggling golf balls or if you love your friend or your partner. If you're devoted to that or devoted to Jesus, devoted to God, that emotion of devotion gets you to 0 point. Whatever you love, whether it's your artwork or your work or sacred labor, it's all the emotion of devotion, which takes away time. That's the big one. When you're in emotion, you've got a past and a future. You're either depressed in the past or you got anxiety about the future. You're not present. And what brings you to presence is devotion. Love what you're doing. And there's no time. You're doing it now and you're not worrying about tomorrow. I didn't prepare anything for what we're doing right now, but I'm just dancing into it.
Exactly.
And that's, to me, is being present, not worrying about how I'm going to do it, not worrying about tomorrow. And generally, before I do anything, I'll just make a quick invocation. I need help. Guide me, overshadow me, so the words come out right. I don't know what I'm going to say, and it usually works out.
Yeah.
And so
you just have to let it flow. And also, that's
have to let it flow.
What you said a few moments ago about it doesn't matter who people pray to or whatever. I've always told people that it doesn't matter what religion you believe in, what God you believe in, or whatever. It's the point that you believe that makes it happen. That's where you're reaching your 0 point. Right.
That's
right. So
right.
it doesn't. I mean, you
That's
could.
Right. I see.
You could pray to the spaghetti gods, like those idiots that made that group that one time just to prove the point. It doesn't matter if it's spaghetti. If that's what you truly firmly believe,
Doesn't matter.
to get you your answers, it can be spaghetti. It really can.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And I tell people, I show them, well, the pentagonal pyramid is like the mountain. And these are the different religion on each facet. You're all climbing. But these are all rungs of the ladder here going up. But you want to get to that 0 point of presence where you're just at still point or whatever. And okay, Rocky, someone's here. You want to get to that place. Hey, Rocky, go outside. All right, there you go. So what I'm saying, all the religions, everyone, my religion is bigger than your religion, or my God is bigger than your God. They're all okay, but these people are still stuck. Vivekananda said, and I tell it over and over, he was the guru of Tesla. It's good to be born in a religion, but it's very bad to die in one. Okay, these religions are like having good parents or having a good drill instructor or a good teacher. They're all teachers along the way. And as the student, you are learning all these initiations of the teacher. But the real goal is to transcend the teacher or the dogma, the guru, whatever, and become that point of light, the Christ or whatever. And when you take two, I'm going to go to another page here real quick. When you take two, the breath, there's the pent here. When they come together, you have you have alpha and omega in this thing. 9/11 is alpha, omega. So this is your creation right here. These pentagonal pyramids. You always have, you have an overlap. They don't form like 12. They don't make the puzzle. They always overlap, and there's always this 9 and 1 1. It's interesting, but you're at a point of you're in the zone right here in presence, and you want to get to this point. This is the path, but you want to stay in this connectedness, this 11/11, where you're in the synchronicity zone. You're always connecting with people. So this is I've heard lots of people on podcasts talk about we're coming into 5D Aquarius, age of Aquarius. Nobody has talked about 5D. It's about phi, and the golden ratio brings you to 0 point. And unfortunately, the Christians have been led down the path by false teachers, and the Satanists have taken the most sacred symbol, which is the pentagram, and perverted it. But if you look at the pentagram, every angle is a 9. Every single angle, 18 degrees, 144, 72, 36, 108, they all equal a 9. Okay. And it's all fractal, it's all phi ratio. You have 1 to 1.618. Okay, you got the golden ratio in the pentagram. And they don't want you to know about the golden ratio. They don't want you to know the platonic solids in school. These platonic solids, I made shapes for all the platonic solids here. You know, I cut them out of paper. I think I sent you a copy of them. You can make your own. Kids could be doing this in the first grade, understanding how they work together. You know, they should be doing it in the first grade.
I agree. And this is actually a perfect place for me to segue that in, that we're going to create an online school and hopefully a physical school as well, where we're teaching people of all ages. But it's important for our children to be given the proper education. And our public schools, let's all face it, they're government owned. That means they're government ruled. So they're deciding what our children are allowed to learn. And it's time for us to take back those decisions for our children and ourselves, and to learn and expand and grow so that we can truly ascend.
That's exactly right. We have to take our sacred symbols back. We have to take our sacred numbers back. Number 19, which the evil guys use, is a very sacred number. It's the Tao. It's where 1 and 9 meet. It's letter S. It's the Tao. It's the Tai Chi, being presence where the counterclockwise meets the clockwise. So sacred. The 5 and the pentagram, so sacred. And we have to take them back. And 51, area 51, you know, they talk about area 51, 3 times 17, 107. Well, 51 is actually this symbol here, 5 to 1. Okay, we're talking about this mudra. We're talking about 0 point energy. And the 5, yes, they say in the gematria that this is the number of defense. It sure is, because this will stop the dark guys. This will stop them. Have you ever seen that guy, what's his name, in the Bush, the guy that was the Secretary of Defense, Rumsfeld. This guy, I swear, I watched him talk. He's like this all the time. He's talking with his hands in front of him, and he's pushing back everything. So yeah, they know about it. The bad guys know about it. They also use 9/11 as a date, and they use 11/3 on the other continent. They use these dates. Well, that's Alpha and Omega. Come on.
And we have to reverse it. We have to transmute that energy. And
one time I had a guy that was come over. One time I had a guy come over that was he was an assayer. He was in the gold mining industry. He knew all the old-time gold miners around here. And I showed him some of my diagrams. He said, he understood them. I said, you understand these? He said, yeah. I said, you're a Mason? He said, yeah. I said, you're a 33rd degree Mason? He said, yes. He said, can you come over to our lodge and teach this stuff to our Masons? I said, oh my gosh, that means that these people know this stuff. These Masons know this stuff. And sure. I didn't get this from anybody. I got this from within, but these are sacred symbols. We have to replace the stuff that they've perverted on every level. And they have perverted everything.
Even speaking of the Masons, people need to keep in mind that a lot of people, especially in my audience, when they hear the word Mason, they automatically think black hats, right? The bad guys. But we need to keep in mind that the Masons were originally the Templars. And so, the Templars carried the sacred knowledge. So of course the Masons are going to know this.
Yes.
And I don't feel like all Masons are bad people. I feel like with great power comes great responsibility, and some people have perverted that for sure. You know, no doubt.
Yeah, they were dealing. Yeah. Yeah.
But they
You're
definitely,
absolutely right. They're dealing with, I think they knew all the secret teaching,
yeah,
and now it's time for us to bring it out to the public, because I think the public are ready. They've seen how these boneheads have done with the world, and what they've perverted at every level to the
right.
max, and
Yeah. You
it's
called
for
it
us to
right.
claim, like even Trump says
Go
that
ahead.
we have to take back our sacred numbers, take
Yes,
back these, I think maybe it was 107 that said that, said we have to reclaim uh, the words, the numbers,
right.
and the geometry,
Right.
understanding of this, and claim it as,
Absolutely.
because these are sacred symbols. And I mean, I'll teach all day. I love to get
Yeah.
into it with Christians, because the geometry does not lie. The
Right.
geometry does not lie.
Right.
And the pentagram, the chakras, it all fits like a glove.
Yes.
And that's the only way. You have to explain it scientifically.
Exactly.
So that's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in order to reclaim all of those things, we have to reclaim our power. We have to reclaim our God-given gift to be the ones who are the how do you say it? The rulers of the planet in the proper way, the caretakers of the planet. I mean, this is like now the real time for the meek to inherit the earth, as it spoke of in the Bible. You know, this is
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Well, collectively, we're looking for the guardian stewards and the adepts that are walking the earth right now to share all the hidden knowledge.
right.
And I consider, you know, the connection with you. You're right up to speed. You're right there. You had some good training as a child, and I got it through our own mystery school. But most of all this geometry is from within. There's nothing,
Right.
nothing. We didn't get any of this type of teaching. We got initiations on our other stuff about our egos. We got our egos chopped away, but
Yeah.
this is more of a. Some people say that's way beyond me, but really, when you dig into it, if I go right from the beginning of the geometric shapes, the numbers, and the vibrations of the words, like, oh, wow, this is
Yeah.
not religious dogma. This is science, and I
Right.
think that's going to break the dogma, because the
I do too.
dogma divides, and
Yeah.
everyone thinks their God is better than the other God, but no,
Right.
you have to understand this.
Yeah, we have to be able to prove it with the science. I've always done that. And actually the bulk of my learning came from within, came from being able to talk directly to the divine and the ascended masters, and they've led me and shown me and, you know, downloaded me, or however you want to say that. But yeah, I was very fortunate as a child to have a father that had a grasp of this knowledge himself, because of his bloodline and who he came from, who his people were. So it got me off on the right foot for sure. But yeah, we have to find all of the light workers that are teachers, and then give them the tools to be able to teach this from a scientific standpoint, in order for the masses to be able to understand it quickly and easily, and get them up to speed quickly and easily. And then we will,
Well, I think,
then you know, the teaching the children, that's going to be the easy part.
I've gone this path because you can't preach to someone, tell them that I got the best teachings in the world. Yeah, okay. I have a guru. I had a great guru, but okay, it's really another religion. It's if you're talking to someone that's been trained on a different path. And I think that what I'm doing, I want to come across scientifically where everything fits the puzzle. It does, and the numbers, the words, the angles, the color, everything fits like a glove, and I think that's the way it's supposed to be. And that confirms that I'm on the right path, and that way you're not getting into a dogmatic argument. You're talking about, look at this.
Right.
So I think that's important.
I do too. And speaking of the colors, real quick, you and I talked about this on the phone the other day, that the colors that they show in the chakras, we think that that's all wrong. So maybe we should kind of touch on that a little bit too.
Okay, well, many people have the Roy G. Biv thing, the red, orange, yellow, green. I don't agree with it at all. I haven't seen them, and one, it may be the follower of the follower of the follower of the follower all the way down, and the rainbow thing, everybody thinks that's it, but I don't think that's right. I think the chakras are spinning their colors, and I've taken them to 3D, and I think it might be true that if you really stellate the chakras, you're going to have all the colors and the elements spinning and forming like a scintillating color. And I know it's my own theory that there may be something beyond, you know what I mean?
Is that what you mean? More of like iridescence or what?
Yes, yes. Yeah, they're actually spinning, but you may have a 3D shape spinning.
Right.
There's got to be a time axis through them. That would be an axis of spin, and then you've got the shape. Like I've taken the square or 4 to octa, taken a 6-pointed star 3 and 3, which is a 6 to a star tetra. 2 pyramids form an Ikasa. Your heart has, now that you're in Ikasa, you're actually in Ikasa dodeca with the pen pyramids. You come to the heart. Okay, the heart nests. There's 5 cubes that nest inside of a dodecahedron. Now each cube has 8 points. 8 times 5 is 40. So you got 40 weeks of gestation. You got 40 days in the wilderness, 40 days of fasting. That's symbolic, I think, of the 5 cubes in the heart. And the dodeca nests 5 cubes. Now, if I jump to nesting, I think it's on this page here somewhere, maybe here. No, maybe, no, it's, let me go up here real quick. I'm going to go to nesting here. Okay, so I learned this from when I started studying with Dan Winter. I was amazed at this, but inside of a dodecahedron nests 5 cubes. Well, I said, well, there's 5 elements: ether, air, fire, water, and earth. So there's an element for each cube. Each cube has a male and female tetrahedron in it. Oh, wow, look at this. Wow, so you've got all the geometry that fits with the body perfectly. If you look at the body, you got the center, you got ether, air, fire, water, and earth, 5 elements, right? And you got a male and female, and each element has a tetra. So they go together, you have a star tetra, but one's clockwise, one's counterclockwise for each of the elements. You got ether, air, fire, water, earth. So you've got all the elements in the cube. And in my book, I wrote, in here, one of these pages is on the Platonic Solid, the Platonic Code Book. Where is it? It's right over Platonic Code Book. Let's go to that real quick. I differ from, let's see, I'll go to here, larger version. Okay. I differ from Plato. Plato had the water element as being the icosahedron, the dodeca as being the ether element. And I switched it around because the dodeca is the real mother that nests all of creation. Everything comes horizontal, vertical, nest in the dodecahedron. And the icosahedron here, you have the crown chakra, because the icosahedron is a stellated dodeca. If you look at, if I go back to stellations here, I don't want to go too fast now. See, this is the stellation of a dodeca here. Every point of a dodeca is stellated to form an icosahedron. So this is the point that meets the point of the third eye, which this spirit is the 10th energy, the dodeca or akasa, meets the concrete left brain third eye, which is like the hard drive that has all your thoughts and everything stored in it. So when the spark goes off, the third eye goes bingo. They come together, and it says in the Bible, and then I be single, the body is full of light. And I see this as the spirit, the point of the fractal geometry of the stellated dodeca meets the point of the center of the third eye, the box. And let's go back to the chakra page here. I think it's in there. I'm pretty random here, so random access, that's, I don't have everything in order, but I did it in sequence to how it all came together. I tried to keep that sequence. So what I'm saying is, this to me is the crown chakra. This is infinitely fractal to every point everywhere, to everybody else, this guy. And it meets the box. The box, if well, it's complicated how I've got 16 faces times 6 is 96, corresponding with 96 petals on the third eye. Well, the center of that is, this is where you incubate your thoughts. And this point meets the inner point of the center of that cube. If I go to over here, I started with my 3, 4, 5 Pythagoras theorem and put it onto the cosmic clock. It fits like a glove. 3 squared, 4 squared. This 4 squared is a material. This is the sun. This is the missing quadrant in Pythagoras theorem when I put it on a clock. I put it on the cosmic clock. This is the work of the hands, the physical. This is the emotion, the mother energy, the emotional energy. This is the mental energy, and this is the etheric energy. So I took that and made a cube with each face having 16 points, because you've got 4 directions and 4 elements if you take this to 3D. So that means that the center of that box corresponds to 96 petals of the third eye. Okay, so now the spirit can hit that point. The point of the spirit can hit the center point of that box. This touches all the senses, and all of a sudden the lights go off, and you've got some crazy new revelation that's inspired from the spirit world. So I think this is, I don't know if it's right, I don't know, but the puzzle fits, and the numerology and the shapes fit. So it could be, and then all the platonic solids come out of the simple numbers: 4, 6, 10, 12, 16, 96. Now, the throat chakra really is a function or extension of the third eye, because you have to have that stuff in the hard drive to be able to speak the words. That's so right. I think the throat really is an extension of the third eye. Yep. And I got active and passive senses here. Maybe I've got sight, speaking, taste, touch, thoughts, and intuition, and passive visualization, hearing, smell, feeling, emotions, and memory. And maybe I may have to add it or rearrange it, but that was my first blush at it. And I think the more people we bring into this, they may have insight into these things. So that energy, this is the stellation here, and this is multifaceted. As these infinite dodecas nesting here, they all have points in every direction. You got infinite fractality to everything. And right. Source is 9. God's is 9. Whole eye spirit, all 999. Very powerful. And so you have to understand, I'm looking at the words, the numbers, and the geometry. It fits like a puzzle. It's amazing how it all fits together like a puzzle. Yeah. So I'm going to let you ask me some questions, what you want to go see now.
Okay, so we're running low on time, but I do want to still touch on the mudras real quick.
Which one?
The mudras. If you could explain to people what mudras are.
Mudras, okay, so let's go to this one. 3, 4, 5 cross. I drew this about when I first figured the Pythagorean cross. I was thinking polarity. Got the 3 element theory, 4 element theory, and 5 element theory. And I drew this in early when I started my business on an airplane. I actually did a lot of work on an airplane. I got maybe at 30,000 feet. I didn't have any interference. And I put this where I got the missing quadrant being the 3 times 4. Okay, that evolved into, okay, you got the zodiac in his missing quadrant. Then I went to geometric shapes. Okay, triangle, circle, square, pentagram. Okay, let's go to another level. Stellate the triangle, you have tetrahedron, a cone, a pyramid, and a pentagonal pyramid. Okay, let's take male and female and make left and a right. Okay, you've got a star tetrahedron. The two cones represent the the breath, the octahedron, and icosahedron. Interesting, right? Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So 1, 2, this is a whole geometric progression going on here. And the hands overlaid, the 3 bones in the thumb go to the 3 times 4, the 4 bones in the hand, and then the 5 bones in the whole hand, the 5 fingers and everything go to this quadrant, the whole work of the hands. Okay, so it's we go here. Now, I was showing someone this diagram I was on a flight into New Delhi, and my person from India was with me, and I showed him this. I said, my theory is that the mudras come from the bones in the hand, the shape of the bones and the configuration of the bones. I long had this theory that the bones and the golden ratio was why the energy reduced and healed. Well, I went to India, and the flight attendant, I told my friend, I said, I told him that explanation of my theory, and the flight attendant said, okay, you have to put your computers away. So I put everything away. We get off the airplane, and I get into India and go down the escalator, and this was on the wall, a wall of mudras. These things are about 6 to 8 feet tall, these hands, all the mudras, all the way down. Talk about a confirmation, right? About the mudras coming from the bones.
I agree. Now, I just want to pause right there for a moment, because this imagery is what I really want the audience to see, to understand about the mudras. Because again, we're going into reducing what the dark has done, or transmuting what the dark has done, where they've taken the sacred knowledge and turned it into something dark. And now we have to learn what that is to transmute it back into the light. Because this is why the Illuminati does all their hand signals, right? Like the all that, because they understand this symbolism. A lot of people don't understand that there is power in these hand gestures. So I just wanted to include that into this.
Well, this guy is a 666, right? 3 6s. And, they keep that as the man, keep you stuck in the matrix 666. I mean, I have a page on 666, but the hands and the mudras, I think I'm onto something. That was a pretty darn good confirmation about the hands. If I go to 666, I think I've got one here somewhere. Okay. 999. Oh, here we go. Okay. Well, look at 666. You have 3 cube octahedrons. What do you have? 3 hexagrams. You take a star tetrahedron. You have a top view, a side view, and a front view. They're all 666. You got the carbon man, 666, like I showed over here, 666. This is the material prism, planet that keeps you going on this karmic loop, infinity with an FI, basically. That's 666. It's a powerful number. We have to claim it back and clean it up. I mean, it's not a bad number. I don't think any numbers are bad, but they've perverted everything. And they want to keep us stuck in the matrix. This is the matrix. The star tetrahedron has no acceleration. Okay? Although when you go to phi geometry, you have acceleration. Back to this one. Now you have acceleration to 0 point. Okay, you don't have it in the tetrahedron. So I think that it fits the puzzle again. It's all about everything fits the puzzle. I mean, that's one of the from the beginning, that how to fit. That's how I was seeing everything fitting as fitting into the puzzle. And here's another interesting, another look. I drew this one up one day. You're looking at the phi geometry here. I changed the statue of Mother Mary. All of them had the hands way in here, and I redrew this and put the statues out. Now, if you put the hands out like this, at 144 degrees of arc, now you're making the pentagonal pyramid. Okay, you're making this shape. So if you're going to make put a statue up, you should create it with the geometry. They put the hands way down in here, so you don't have any sacred geometry. You don't have fractal geometry. You don't have phi geometry. Okay, so the nature is showing this particular shell. It's perfectly fits over a pen pyramid. No matter how much you turn the pen pyramid, it's always 60 degrees from the front view. Exactly. Okay, your mudra. Firenze, in Florence, means flower. It's 5. A lot of flowers have 5 petals. Florence, Firenze, Faenza, Frenza, Frenza. That's the Italian people do that a lot. Firenze, hey, but that's Faenza. Okay, so you get a lot of clues along the way of this the phi geometry. So I thought this page might be interesting. See, when you make the statue right, 144 degrees here in that arc. Okay,
Right.
Pretty amazing.
And isn't that also the importance of the drawing that my brain just went
Da Vinci?
Da Vinci.
Da Vinci's drawing?
The man drawing.
He's in a 5-pointed star.
Yeah,
the Temple of Man. He knew about it. I'm sure the Renaissance people knew about it. Michelangelo knew about it. They all knew about it. And they challenged they were kind of radical. Michelangelo especially was very radical for the day. He challenged all the cardinals and everybody. And they kept asking,
well,
when are you going to be done? When are you going to be done, Michelangelo? It'll be done when it's done. He was in the presence. They're worrying about trying to put it on a schedule. And he was saying it'll be done when it's done.
right.
So,
okay, so
is there anything else, or you want to close the segment here?
Yeah, let's go back to the mudras.
Go ahead.
We'll close it up. Because I really just want people to wrap their mind around that,
Yeah, I did this. I did these drawings. This was my daughter Rose's hand when she was about 2 years old. Here and here, I took her. She had very powerful hands, and I put some mudras together. This would be like an icosahedron, and I don't know. There's different mudras I've seen. This one to me is very powerful. I use it for healing because you're taking that to 0 point energy if you're working energy work. So I use that mudra for healing quite a bit. And I'm not a mudra expert, but I do think the bones play a part, and it'd be nice to get with some Indian guru or master of the mudras to compare notes and see if there's anything that fits.
Yeah. I just want people to really understand that there's power in this symbolism. There's energy work in this symbolism that is not exclusive to the secret societies and the bad guys. This is something
we have to bring out these teachings.
Yeah,
we have to bring them out. And I welcome, I really welcome anyone to correct me or add to what we have. And I think what I've put out, a lot of the stuff is Holy Spirit. Basically, it's I contemplate on it or incubate, you might say, and then the spirit goes off, and I got it in my head. It usually comes pretty quickly. When I'm stuck on something, I always ask for answers, and I've got I guess I got some good friends on the other side that have helped me do this. I think it's very unique. I did not get this from books, so that's the thing. I'm not copying someone else's work, and when I see, I don't mind if people copy me. Let's get it out. I'm not worried about copyright nonsense. I care about sharing it. I really want to get it out there. I'm not going to be here forever. If I die and I don't leave this something behind or someone with an understanding of this, it'll die. And I consider it something very important to share with people.
Yeah, it's time to bring it out to the light of day for everyone to know, instead of just the secret societies and the rich people that can afford the fancy classes and the expensive books. Yeah.
Yeah.
John, I am so excited for our endeavors we're going to be doing together. I am so excited to finally see this coming into fruition where we can truly teach it to the masses with an understanding and an ease of the understanding that they need, you know, to really grasp it and utilize it and be excited again about who we are and what we can do. And then we can all create this really beautiful future together. I'm so excited. So this has been extremely an honor.
I'm excited. I'm excited too, because I always had I was always afraid to get in front of people and teach, and always self-confidence. I didn't have it, and I was the worst teacher. Could have been the worst teacher in the world. I never thought of myself as being a teacher on a level like this, but the old saying, Christ is made perfect in your weaknesses, it's in the Bible.
That's
I
right.
believe that the things that you're weak in become your strengths. This was my weakest point,
Yes.
and it may become my strength. And I'm not attached. It's not a matter of trying to glorify my ego. I don't need fame. I've experienced fame. It comes with a burden of having to share, but I'm at a place where I'm ready to come out of my monkhood, you might say, and put some stuff out there, be open for the darts that come your way, and be able to explain it to people and unify people. I was talking about unifying. One thing, I've got one page here, I love it, unified field. Unified field is the same numerology as I am. And this coming to this one point, meeting at that point is the unifying field. So, and I invite people to look at the drawings, read them. I probably have a lot more work in putting explanations into everything. So maybe it would go into a book instead of just pictures. It has more explanation. But I've done everything in picture form. That's how I like to see things. I like charts and pictures. I'm not a reader, but that's why I do stuff like this, because it's that's what I'm used to. But the unified field is 5'9", like I am. So I think that's what we have to do, is unify the field of everyone, which is brings us to that higher vibe.
Yep. And I'm so excited to do that. I'm really excited for.
And I am too. I'm not. You're. Well, I'm looking forward to this, and if we can gather any your friends or contacts along the way, if they have any questions or input, let's keep it going. Expand on this, because I really want to build a community of conscious commerce, and or whatever we call it, or infinity, or the whole I spirit, you know, the whole connectiveness of the lost tribe, or the 144,000, whatever. I want to get the people in under, you know, working together and recorrecting this so we can quickly accelerate into a golden age.
Yes. Yeah, because we've wasted enough time now, haven't we? We've been sitting in.
And you have to go through the darkness before you get to.
We've been sitting in neutral long enough. I'm ready to go full steam ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Earth is a schoolroom. Everyone has to realize that. Your lessons come along the way. Your karma comes. You have to understand how karma works and accept it. You know, deal with it. Let go. Don't be attached.
Right.
Important.
Yeah.
So.
All right, John. Thank you very much.
So till next time. Thank you so much too for the opportunity, and we'll keep this going. All right. See you later, dear. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.